I just got back from our annual family gathering with my brothers and sisters. And their husbands and wives. It was a lot of fun, so I was told. I'm just trying to return to my happy place. Maybe the House of Wooden Santas by Kevin Major would help. "12 days to Christmas." "So," said his mother when Jessie appeared at the door of the workroom, "Jonathan's dad showed up at the concert. Santa came through in a crunch." Think my wish really had anything to do with that? Helped, I say, wouldn't you? Jessie walked into the room, thinking hard about it. His mother had let him sleep in because he had been so late getting to bed the night before. "I called Mr. O'Donnell," she said. "We had a long chat. He's a nice man. I let him know you wouldn't be in school until this afternoon." Jessie loved surprises. His mother had another one for him. "How would you like to do some painting for me?" She had never suggested such a thing before. Jessie thought he could never be of much help, although he had sometimes painted ornaments for the Christmas tree. She took a figure out of the cabinet behind her and placed him on the table. He was bare, unpainted wood. He looked like he was about to fly. "This guy could do with some color on his cloak," his mother said. She laid out a clean brush and a small pot of scarlet paint. Jessie had never seen such a Santa. He began in earnest to paint the fellow's cloak, while his mother sketched on paper some things she might put in his hands. Jessie loved it. He and his mother working together, school far off, Christmas so near. The doorbell rang. His mother went to answer it, leaving Jessie hard at work. But his brush strokes came to a sudden stop. He heard the bark of a dog and a voice that put a knot in his stomach. He sat aside the brush and peered down the hall. There, standing beside his mother, was Mrs. Wenzel, and Ivan in her arms. The dog yipped at Jessie. The voices fell silent. Jessie's mother walked back to him. "That's okay, love. You finish what you are doing." Jessie returned to the painting. His mother closed the door. Something was up. He put his ear to the door. He couldn't make out what they were saying. He eased the door open just a crack. "You can't do this," his mother said. Her words were quick and anxious. I should have the money soon." "I think I've given you more than enough time," said Mrs. Wenzel. "I would like you out of the house by the 1st of January. It's Christmas. I'm sorry. And we couldn't possibly find another place around here. I'm sure you won't have to go far." And with that, Mrs. Wenzel was gone. It was minutes before Jessie's mother returned to the workroom. She didn't look at Jessie, but he could see how angry she was. Jessie kept it in for as long as he could. Then he broke into tears. "Hey, no need of that. We'll figure out something," his mother said. She put an arm around him. "How did she get to be such a crab?" "Who knows?" Jessie dried his eyes. People had no right to be like that, especially at Christmas. Jessie went back to his painting. With every stroke of his brush, he was more and more determined to figure out something that would make Mrs. Wenzel change her mind. Jonathan's father had changed his mind, sure enough. Maybe he and Santa, and maybe Jonathan, the three of them together, could come up with something that would work on the crab too. You like this place now, I guess, his mother said, trying to be her regular self. Maybe. She caught his eye. There appeared on his face the barest hint of a smile. It met her own sluggish one. Maybe Santa Claus will help us. Her smile widened a bit. Really? Yeah, why not? Said Jessie, sounding tough about it all. She picked up Santa Claus and held him in the air with one hand. She had him flying over the table. From out of the sky, swooping into the house of wooden Santas, she said in a voice too dreary. She turned up the volume and tried to add some spark to it. With fire in his eyes and passion in his heart. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, shouted Jessie. It's Super Santa. He's decided to scour the world for crabby people who don't know the meaning of Christmas. But this guy doesn't look much like a superhero, said Jessie. His cloak is too heavy. The woodworker will just have to work her woodworking magic. She can chip away to reveal a super Santa soup. She can shape a few muscles. She can shed a few pounds. Jessie was feeling a lot better. Now watch as I begin by turning his scarlet cloak into a Christmas cape. Jessie's mom, chisel in hand, started the transformation. It took several hours, and Jessie had to go off to school before Super Santa was complete. But that night, when his mother flew the fellow into Jessie's room, he was every inch a superhero. Jessie lay in bed, his hands behind his head, and he stared at him and wondered how in the world they could ever transform the heart of Mrs. Wenzel. It might not be easy. Jessie remembered the look Mrs. Wenzel had given him in church on Sunday. It might be next to impossible. Until next time.